How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another edition, a little different edition of the Hard Count over here. Normally, of course, you got Alex and Christian up here keeping it down, keeping what's going on, keeping you updated in the football world. But if you guys didn't catch on a little bit last week, I guess I'll formally announce it now. Alex and Christian, they're chasing the bag, bro. Alex and Christian are chasing the bag. They got a bunch of responsibilities in their work lives and everything like that. So they decided to do, a little bit of the passing of the torch, what some people thought was going to happen in the Super Bowl. So I will be your new host of the show. I had, I don't know why they keep giving me opportunities here, but hey, if they're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. So shout out Alex and Christian. And of course, happy to announce that, they gave me the freedom to, kind of pick and choose here. I brought along CJ, the man to my right on the screen, to be my wonderful co-host. When I had the opportunity, I had to jump on it. I always rocked with what CJ did in Unwrapped Sports. Finally had to get him on the live lineup, make sure everybody sees his talent as well. So Alex, Christian, I know that you guys are probably watching. Alex, I already see you in the comments, so I'll say it first, and then I'll let CJ say whatever he wants. But good looks on giving us the show. I appreciate everything you guys doing out on the wrap, and go chase that bag. Alex already trying to say something to me, bro. Back hurting from carrying the show and me, bro. But CJ, that's all you. If you want to say anything.
Connie, appreciate it, bro. Man, Alex and Christian, appreciate the opportunity. Definitely been looking for something to try to get opportunity to talk some football. Definitely glad to get these three guests that we have today. Talk about the Super Bowl, break it down. Big time game, and I'm glad to carry the torch and keep it moving.
Yes, sir. Now I'll introduce my man Sam over here. Sam, how are we doing, my friend? And CJ, I'll let you introduce your boy. So, but Sam, how are we doing, my guy?
I'm doing well. Super Bowl's over. That means we're one step closer to the draft. So that makes me proud.
I was going to say, that's your thing, Mr. College Football over here. So you guys, listen, if you guys need to know your prospects, make sure you check out Sam. But CJ, introduce your boys to the people, of course.
Yes, check out Sam on Saturday Standouts with Caleb every Saturday, breaking down all the college games, breaking down all these top prospects coming out in the 2021 draft. So look out for Sam and Caleb. So I got my guy EJ Elias Rodriguez, Philly fan,
what's up?
Eagles fan. What's going on, bro?
Nah, not much, just ready for this off season. Big changes coming, Big changes coming within the next few days, hopefully.
Yeah,
sadly,
definitely.
But, hopefully we got something good.
We got Nick Cavalier. What's going on, bro? Bills fan.
Oh man, Bills fan, man. Tough way to go out this year, man, but we'll be back, we'll be back next year, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Now, of course, before we get into the show, as I always like to say on all my shows, we got to pay the bills around here, baby, and give a shout out to our sponsors, of course. So if you're into the betting world, like I know a lot of us over here on Unwrapped are, Alex, this guy who's always chatting over here in the comments, of course, he's in the betting world. So make sure you go over to mybookie.ag, use code USN100 to double your first deposit. Of course, us New York boys, CJ, we can't be using MyBookie because, they don't want to allow, sports betting, mobile sports betting yet. So, but for all you people that can, take advantage of it, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag, use code USN100. It doubles your first deposit up to $1,000. We got basketball going on right now. Hockey's going on. I hope everybody got their bets in for the Super Bowl. I know that I certainly did. Somehow. I'm sure you can bet on literally anything you want. I know NASCAR's coming back, so if you want to bet on that, have fun. So make sure you go over to mybookie.ag, use code USN100, and then of course with your extra money, you got to head on over to RX Hemp. RX Hemp-USN saves you 10% on your entire order. They got the premium CBD creams over there. So if you're a little sore from a long day at work, a long day at the gym, make sure you get some CBD cream. You'll feel brand new in the morning. Next, make sure you check out our store, baby. USN got the store. We got merch. Every show on the live lineup basically has merch. Sam, I know you got merch. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, I got merch.
Oh yeah, Sam's got merch. I got merch for Gen Z. Hard Count has merch. Backstop Banter, Ladies First, Fights Unwrapped. Let's see, Keeping It Blunt has merch. So listen, if there's a show on the live lineup and you want to support one of your creators, make sure you head on over and throw them a little dough over there. Don't be shy. Throw them a little money and buy some merch. And then finally, but of course, not least, we're on Patreon now as well. So if you want to support the squad $1, you're just showing that you love us and you want to support the squad. $5, you're entered into an Amazon gift card giveaway. $10, you get 10% off the store, and you get into our Discord chat. We're always up talking sports, gambling, gaming, everything you want, music, so anything you want. And then, of course, the best option, $10. You get all those things I said before, except the 10% discounts, now 20. And you're also entered in to a wonderful Keenan Allen signed jersey contest. Now, listen, I don't know about you. Even if you're just trying to win the jersey, $10, you win the jersey, I would keep it. But you could flip that around, make some extra money. See, I'm just looking out for you guys. And then with that extra money, you can buy our merch too. So, it's all a circle. It's all a circle. But make sure you guys check all our stuff out. But now that that's done, we can get into what the people want. Football, it's finally, sadly over, I should say. But we'll start it off with what we have to, the Super Bowl. A little recap of the Super Bowl. And, I kind of want to just keep the conversation flowing. CJ, I don't know about you. I think everything's better over here when we just keep the conversations instead of going from one by one, everything like that. So I just want to get an initial Super Bowl reaction because I know that I was happy with it. Obviously, Patriot fan. I needed my boy Brady to win. So what was your guys' reaction to the Super Bowl if you had one?
Yeah, Sam, you guys can start. Sam can start, EJ, and then Nick can finish off.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. I've always been on the train of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is overhyped. They haven't lost since week 12. They were saying that, okay, they haven't beaten anyone. They barely play. They have an on and off season. I personally like their defense better. I think I'm assuming we'll get to this eventually, but the MVP, I think they gave Tom Brady more credit than they should have. They should have given the defense a lot more credit in that game than Tom Brady. But I honestly expected the Chiefs to win. So, the past two games have been the best games that I've seen Tampa Bay play all season.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I really wasn't surprised with the outcome. I kind of said it from the start of the game. There was a lot of key offensive linemen missing for the Chiefs. So I knew Mahomes would be basically running for his life and playing for his life. And it showed that, Tampa Bay's game plan going into the game, they played sound football. It's just nothing deep, just everything underneath and just rally to the ball. And that's how they were able to win the game, to be honest. You take away Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL, and look what happens. So, and a lot of key drops from a lot of receivers kind of cost them the game. So that's another thing.
Yeah, man. I wasn't expecting Kansas City to score 9 points the entire game. Like that was completely shocking to me. Like, and just the way like Tampa Bay's front line was able to get after Mahomes, had him just like he said, just running for his life. Like, and he was still able to make some crazy throws and put his receivers in the opportunity to make a play for him, and they couldn't capitalize on it. And I'm just ultimately shocked at the lackluster performance that the offense for the Chiefs put up. Like it was crazy to me. Like completely one-sided.
Yeah, it was wild. It was definitely a crazy game. Didn't expect it to go that way. Just like everybody said, you got to give credit to Todd Bowles. Definitely, called a great game. In that Week 12 matchup that Sam just talked about, Tyreek Hill had about 100 and almost 200 yards in the first half. So that ability for them to come out for the game to be at their home field, there was no way that they could just let them run up and down the field like that.
This man, see, Christian, you're a clown. You're a clown. Christian must have gotten the notification that we went live on Twitch. Had to pull up on the Twitch chat. So,
it's good, bro.
Christian, we said it before. Go looks on handing over the keys to the show, to say the least. But yeah, listen, I picked the Bucs to win. I picked it more with my heart than with my head because, like I said, I wanted Brady to win. I'm a Brady homer. Kill me if you want. Go ahead. Don't care. But I mean, I picked it to be 38-35. Like, you're lying to yourself and to everybody out there if you think that this was going to be a 31-9 game. Like,
Completely.
don't get me wrong, and we can kind of transition it over into what went right for the Bucks. It's the fact that those linemen were out. Like, you're missing a left tackle, you're missing a right tackle. They're moving right guards over to left tackle, and they're moving, other people into center. It was a mess. That's what it was. And nobody expects 31-9. And even with that, we talked about Mahomes running for his life. Nick, I know you mentioned it. There was the stat, of course, that he ran 497 yards total in that game before either getting sacked or throwing the ball. I mean,
That's crazy.
Listen, I love a lot of quarterbacks in this world. I don't think anybody could have won that game. I mean, I always say things, Russell Wilson does that every week. Deshaun Watson is doing it because they all run for their lives as well. But I don't even think they would have ended up doing much better in that game, because 497 yards with a foot that he's getting surgery on. So right. It was absolutely unbelievable. And of course, CJ, I know you mentioned it as well. Todd Bowles called an excellent game. Like, they played cover 2 the entire game, and he blitzed 5% of the time. That's the lowest he's ever done probably in his entire career, I believe. So it was a completely different game plan from when they played earlier on in the year. So, shout out the Bucs in general for making a lot of adjustments and being able to pull that game out.
Yeah, they made a lot of adjustments. That D-line, look at Sue, Vita Vea, JPP, Shaq Barrett. I mean, they really didn't need the blitz, because all four of those guys either got home. They rushed the edge on the end, and then they let either Mahomes roll out, like we just talked about, or you can't climb in the pocket because you got guys like Sue and Vita Vea right there. So they were on him all day. 29 pressures. I think that's the most in the Super Bowl game in NFL history. So it was dominant, man. You got to give credit to those corners as well. I mean, like I said, they were getting burned all game in Week 12, and the safeties, they were disciplined. And Kansas City just really couldn't adjust. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna talk about what Kansas City did wrong, but you got to give credit to that offense. I know Tom won Super Bowl MVP, had a calm game, but he was a game manager. I mean, that's all they really needed him to do. They really didn't need him to throw the ball for 40, 45 times, throw for 400, 500 yards. Complimentary football. Chiefs defense, their rush defense really wasn't that great, so they could run the ball. Fournette was dominant. Look at those guys that came in because of Brady, Gronk, AB. I mean,
CJ, you want to be sad real quick, bro?
They were all on the Pats, right? I know,
bro. I think all of the points except the Fournette touchdown were scored by former Patriots. The tears that rolled down my face, bro. Yeah, we're over here with N'Keal Harry.
It was tough, but I mean, it was time for a change, and I'm happy for Tom. Like I said, 43 years old. A lot of people doubted him, and he was what they needed. You look at that Bucs team for multiple years; they've been really talented, but they lacked the discipline. They had a lot of penalties. They were they used to lead the league in penalties for so many years. Even last year, turnovers as well. Cut the turnovers from 30 to 12. always, and they cut the turnover margin down, and they did a great job protecting the ball, especially in this game. And like I said, that defense, Devin White, Levante David, I mean, only comparable guys I could see it was you had Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly back in the Carolina days when they were in their prime, sideline to sideline. Both of those guys are really fast. Devin White,
Devin White was going crazy. He was literally playing sideline to sideline, like he was. Yeah, like he was active in every tackle. Like it felt that way. Like.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about what Tampa Bay did right? And some of the things they did to adjust in this game. We could go with Nick, EJ, and then we finish off with Sam.
Defensively or offensively, or just like
out of you want.
Yeah, both ends.
Man, it's just like they just dominated on both sides of the ball so much that it felt like Kansas City was never really in the game. Like that's what it felt like to me. It was just like so one-sided on both sides of the ball, and just like you said, like Todd Bowles defensively, it was funny because I saw that little Instagram snippet where the reporter was asking Leftwich like how he was able to contain Kansas City. He's like, bro, That's not me, brother. That's you got the wrong man.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all I can really say is that like the game plan that they went into and that they came up with, it was completely dominant on both sides of the ball. And I mean, the whole Andy Reid son thing, I feel like that had a lot to do with like, because it's like what father who's a coach of a Super Bowl team is not going to have that on the back of his mind, like,
Of course.
throughout the whole week. Through, you know, it's just like it's crazy. But yeah, that's really my whole spiel on everything.
Mine's is they trusted their young guys. That's offense and Christian Wirfs, amazing. That was an amazing draft pick. That he played amazingly all
He gave
year.
up one sack
protecting
all
Brady.
year,
One
799
sack all year,
attempts.
Yup, 799 attempts. Yup. So that's they just really trusted their young guys. They told Devin White go out there and just they gave him the freedom to just cover. That's it. He was basically a cover linebacker. You know, he did a pretty good job at it too. I mean, Travis Kelce had like 100+ yards, but they basically took everything underneath, and
Right.
the DBs and their safeties were playing extremely high. So and they just took away the deep ball. It's crazy. They played a perfect game. You can't play a better game than that, to be honest. So
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard to pick apart what stood out the most as like a weakness, because like Nick said, it really seemed like the Chiefs were never in that game. And I mean, the next point we're sure we'll go over is what went wrong for the Chiefs is he had like 2 to 3 guys that were backups, and Eric Fisher was out with a knee injury late in the season. I forget his name, but he was
Mitchell Schwartz.
Mitchell Schwartz, yeah.
The center.
Oh, the
I know who
center.
you
The center that opted out, and then
Yep.
Mitchell Schwartz, right. So the 3 of his 5 starting offensive linemen weren't even playing. The refs were not that good, but regardless if the refs would have called a fair game, they still would have lost. But yeah, I mean, it really did seem like the Chiefs were never in that game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with how good the Bucs were, honestly, because like we said, I think it was they played cover 2 90% of the game. They blitzed 4, and I mean, if you're getting pressure with 4 people and you're dropping everybody back, like, and I'll kind of transition it over into what went wrong for the Chiefs on this point as well. How do you not make adjustments? Like, CJ, I think me and you are spoiled because we're Patriot fans and we've seen Belichick do this. Like, to me, in my head, it's like, oh, okay, they're getting, whooped around in the first half. They're going to come out in the second half. They're obviously going to make an adjustment. I mean, obviously you have to.
Right.
And the fact that it just never happened, it was kind of startling to me. And, like I said, the Bucs offense played great. Gronk must have ate his Wheaties that day, had extra, CBD cream, rubbed on him a little bit or something like that, because he was looking prime Gronk in that game. He obviously had the 2 touchdowns. Him and Jerry Rice were the only people to ever have 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, I believe.
Some monster.
Yeah. He had those. I think he had like 6 catches for something like that. He was looking good. He was pivotal in that first touchdown drive, and then that was the thing too. They ran the ball a lot on first down throughout the season. I know a lot of people hated that, especially Corey, who always brings up how they have to be more efficient and things like that. And they didn't do it. Like, the run worked just enough where they could go off of play action. Like, it wasn't just straight pass, and then, all right, I guess we're going to run the ball on first down. Like, everything really seemed to, just be balanced out. I think,
balanced out, man.
well, yeah, exactly. There was no pressure from the Chiefs as well either. Like, besides that 1 sack Brady got, like, I didn't see them in his face at all. He was sitting back there picking apart the defense, doing what he usually does to everybody else. And it was a really, startling performance. And I guess Brady was right once again, because he said after the NFC Championship game, he said, we haven't even played our best football yet. Well, you picked a really good time to do that, because I think they definitely played their best overall game in the Super Bowl. But like I said, we'll transition it over into what went wrong for the Chiefs. And, and Nick, why don't you start off? What do you think went wrong, with the Chiefs in this game?
I mean, just to bring up my last point, like in the last argument, it was just like, I feel like a lot of the game plan and a lot of what had to do with Andy Reid's son and that whole thing. I feel like that had a lot to do with just the overall game plan going into the Super Bowl, and just like you try not to think about those things. You know, it's the biggest stage of the year, the biggest game of the year, but it's like as a coach, it's like how can you not think about that in the back of your mind? It's like that not necessarily it could be the worst thing that happened to the team overall, like, but I just feel like that has a lot to do with the game plan and just the overall outlook of the game. It's just like that's a big tragedy to happen like right before the Super Bowl, and it's affecting your whole team, like whether we want to admit to it or not. But like come on, to put 9 points up in the Super Bowl, like, and to see how dynamic their offense has been the whole year, it's just like, I don't know, it's real demoralizing, like as a team to have that.
Mahomes was averaging 30 points as a starter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
insane.
number one offense, like it's just crazy. Like to put 9 points up in the Super Bowl, I just can't get past that. Like it's crazy.
Go Eli, you go.
Yeah, so I believe, well, it's they always say a game's won in the trenches, and it obviously was that O-line, the missing pieces, that it obviously affected Mahomes. It didn't give him even when there wasn't any pressure there, he felt it because he has nobody protecting his blind side, so he's always rolling out trying to make plays. It didn't help that I guess that their defense set the tone early. Travis Kelce dropped some passes that he should have caught with like little to no coverage on him. I forgot who dropped that pass in the end zone where Mahomes threw that 30-yard sideline pass.
Hit him in the face mask.
Yeah, it hit him in the face mask. Like it's mistakes like their O-line really set the tone on their defense as well. The Bucs O-line, because it was a really chippy game, and they kind of just took the fight out of them. By halftime, you saw that everybody just gave up, and the pass interference calls didn't help as well. So, you know, Tyrann Mathieu playing probably he played a good game. That pass interference call on Mike Evans in the back of the end zone for that uncatchable ball was kind of BS. So the refs had when calls aren't going your way, it's like, damn, like what can we do? It's like we have everybody fighting against us, you know. So that kind of was a factor as well, you know. So.
Sam?
Yeah, I would argue the offensive line is one of, if not the most important part of your offense specifically, I guess, because if you have a depleted offensive line, you're not going to move the ball. And you guys mentioned drop passes. The run game wasn't clicking at all. Clyde Edwards-Helaire became a rookie fan favorite at the beginning of the season and then started to fall off slowly. I would say probably shortly after they went out and picked up Le'Veon Bell. So their run game really hasn't been dominant the second half of the season. So I think the offensive line, like the guys not playing, not having their starters really showed, and even just failing to adjust. I think it was Anthony that said that as well.
Yeah, O-line was terrible, man. I mean, what they should have done was pass the ball a little bit quicker, more screens. Get some screens going to the running back, because if they're playing zone, if they're playing that far off, then you got to play horizontal. You can't play vertical. And like Andy Reid, failed to adjust, failed to make that. It was a game of chess, and he lost it completely. Obviously, what happened during the weekend, of course, is going to play a factor mentally, like Nick said. So it's of course going to be in the back of your mind. There's something related to family, and he was a coach on the team as well. So it was definitely a big factor. But yeah, I mean I was thinking halftime, okay, they would do some screens, because really what they do well is yards after the catch. You look at, Tyreek Hill. If they don't get the deep ball, what they do is they get the yards after the catch. Tyreek or Travis, they break tackles and go for 60, 70 yards to the crib. So that never happened. And like I said, you got to give credit to Tampa Bay. I mean, it wasn't. You could say they could run the ball, but with the O-line, is you couldn't run or pass. So I see a lot of people saying on TV like, "Oh, they should have ran the ball more." They ran the ball okay, but again, with that offensive line, and you're trying to play catch up, so you're losing time trying to run the ball, and it's just against you.
I do have one thing to say as well.
Yeah.
Special teams, their punter, field position.
Punter, yeah.
That was a big factor as well. I get what he was a rookie punter.
Yeah, I believe so.
He was playing good all season though. I guess the moment.
He shanked one bad. Man.
He really did. Like it was bad.
Was it like a net total of like 20 yards or less than that or something?
It might have been. That's the thing, and I love that you brought that up because I totally forgot about that even yesterday when we were talking about it. I think there's two big turning points in this game for me, at least. I want to hear your guys' opinion on this as well. That punt that you're talking about right now, where it was a good punt, then there was the holding call, and I remember watching the game.
Like 20 yards.
Yeah,
20,
they accepted the penalty to repunt it, and I was like, I guess you can. And that's when he shanked it and got like a 30-yard punt total. They go down and they score on that, and then the next one this is the one that boggles my mind, and I think it destroyed any chance of KC being in it. Because Nick, you said it earlier. This was a weird game in a certain way because. They were down 24-0 to the Texans. They were down 9 to the Bills. They were down 10 in the Super Bowl last year. This, that, blah, blah, blah. When they were down in that game on Sunday, there was no point where I thought, oh, yeah, this is where they're going to turn it on and go on that 24-0 run. Like that
never felt that way. Yeah.
Exactly. It never felt like they had a chance to do that.
It's because the Bucs weren't scared. They weren't scared of them. You look at a lot of those other teams, the Texans, I think Bill O'Brien played conservative because he wanted to hold on to the lead and not give it up. And instead, you can't play that way against Kansas City. You got to be confident in your team. You got to be confident in those 22 guys that you bring out there every game, every Sunday. And you got a leader like Brady, Bruce Arians. I mean, that coaching style is pretty elite. I mean, you got to give credit to those guys, man. Both coordinators called a hell of a game, and you can't be scared of them. And that's even look at the Giants when they faced the Patriots. They weren't afraid.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They weren't afraid. They weren't afraid of New England. They had no fear. Those guys up front, they did what they did and got to Brady and eventually got the bowl.
And eventually got the luckiest catch in Super Bowl history. But it's fine. It's fine. But like the other turning point I wanted to touch on real quick before we obviously move it on that I want to get you guys' opinion on. Right before halftime, the Bucs run the ball on first down. They get no yards. Andy Reid calls a timeout. I don't have a problem with that one. That one doesn't bother me at all because at that point you're like, oh, damn, we might be able to get the ball back. Maybe short field. We still have our timeouts. Let's go down, try to score, and turn the momentum around. Second down, they run a screen play to Godwin. He gets 7 yards. It's now 3rd and 7. Or 3rd and 3, my bad.
Third and 3, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They call a timeout again. Why are you calling a timeout again? Like, listen, if they ran the ball again and, they were like, all right, screw it. We're really trying to go to halftime right now. Because, that's what they were doing. If we're being honest right now, with that first down call, they were like, we're up 8 points against the Chiefs right now. We're playing good. Well, let's get the hell out of here and wait until the second half to see what happens. But he calls the timeout there, too. Then you get the first down to Gronk. Then we know what happens with the pass interference on Mike Evans. The pass interference on Mike Evans again in the back of the end zone. And listen, I agree with I believe Sam and Eli, you said it, that the one in the back of the end zone was garbage. Like, even me who wanted Brady to win, I was like, bro, that there was not a chance in hell unless he was Elastic Man. He was catching that ball. But even then, they were still going to score. They had another shot at the end zone or they were kicking a field goal. And obviously it does change the momentum a little bit because a field goal, obviously isn't as many points. So you're not down as much. But those timeouts blew my mind. And I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about that because it made no sense to me. CJ, you go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that. I mean, I felt like from there they kind of let their emotions take over. And you even saw, Tyrann Mathieu, jarring at Brady, going back and forth, and
you can't let out Psycho Tom, bro. I tried telling people.
It was, and Brady was like, I'm coming right back at you. So, what's good? Like, what's up? I'm not, again, like I said, they weren't afraid of this team. And, Brady has been there, 10 times? So it's like, it's nothing to him. So, from there, like I said, AB ran a beautiful route, out in. It was perfect. Chemistry was on point. And I think from there, that's where it started to change. With that defensive, when they started jarring, they started going at each other, and I think they let their emotions get to them. And you look at what Tampa Bay.
Andy Reid with questionable clock management, no way. That is the thing on his resume. I'll say that.
Yeah, you look at Tampa Bay. I mean, you look at the game against the Packers, how they scored before the half, and that really, that was the game changer for them. And
Sorry, Sam.
That with that pass to Scotty Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, remember who was covering him again?
Was that Kevin King?
Kevin King.
Kevin
that guy.
King had a terrible game.
Yeah, he can't walk around.
Nah, he's not. Sam, I'm just saying, if you see Kevin King in the street, you scrapping or what?
Sorry, Mike Pettin's gone, so
Run my fade, Kevin King.
But yeah, Sam, what do you think about that halftime clock management, as Alex said?
yeah, I mean, I didn't understand it. I think the big thing I took out of that too was frustration. I think wasn't there a play? I don't remember when it was. That Winfield got caught for taunting. Even the Tyrann Mathieu when Tyrann Mathieu was taunting Brady, and then Matthew was the one that got flagged for it. I mean, the big thing I took out of that was complete frustration. I don't know why you're taunting someone when you're down 20 to something. I don't even remember what it was.
I think it was 21-3 at that point.
Yeah.
So it's a bold. Listen, that's a bold strat, taunting somebody when you're down 21-3. But Nick, do you have any problem with that clock management?
I mean, you're talking to Eli? Okay, got you. Go ahead.
Whoever.
Either or. Clock management
Yeah, go ahead, Eli.
was terrible. He probably called timeouts to calm their nerves, and it really didn't. It kind of backfired because it gave Tampa Bay a chance to march downfield. It was terrible. Like I honestly expect it from him. I'm a Philly fan, so I expected from Andy Reid to do something like that. Trust me, like I know. And then his protege, Doug Peterson, kind of does mind-boggling play calls as well. So it was expected. Like I wasn't surprised. I was just like, come on, it's the biggest game of ever, and you're just basically throwing it away because your team is they're too riled up. It was all bark, no bite. They were just barking. They wasn't backing up all their talk, so it kind of bit them in the ass. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Bruce Arians saw the fact. They're calling timeouts. They're gonna stop the clock for us. Let's try to punch one in again. Right. So why not take advantage of that? I'm sure Brady and BA were talking to them bro, they're stopping the clock for us. Let's put more points up. Let's really take control of the game, and that's what they did. And they never looked back.
This man Alex really loves his per Schefter comments, bro. Carson Wentz reportedly blocked Doug Peterson on IG per Schefter. Yo, Alex, I need to know how you got such a close connection with Schefter, bro. Because if you got Schefter connections and he hasn't been on the show, I don't know what we're doing around here.
But nah, let's talk about Brady. I mean, Sam. We'll talk about Super Bowl MVP. Sam talked earlier when he talked about his reaction to the game. He said he felt like Brady really didn't deserve it. I'll start with you. Who do you think? You talked about the defense really playing the factor. Who do you think should have got the MVP on Sunday?
I mean, I wouldn't say Brady didn't deserve it. I mean, he still threw 3 touchdowns. I want to say it was 128 passer rating.
Right.
But I think the defense should have gotten much more recognized. I mean, the game. I even checked Packers Twitter during the Super Bowl, and Devin White was going off. Levante David, Devin White specifically. Devin White was playing out of his mind, not just Sunday's game, but throughout the entire playoffs. I think he was the leading tackler, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah.
I think Brady deserved it. He still played very well, but I think the defense should have gotten more recognized for their performance. Because I think a big reason why they won that game was because of their defense.
Yeah, I feel like it would be kind of hard to pinpoint it on who who would you give it to exactly on the defense. And I mean Brady, granted they didn't, just like CJ said, they didn't need him to throw for 300 yards. They didn't need him to throw for 30, 40 times. He still punched it in 3 times. I mean, Gronk had 2 TDs, AB had 1. I feel like it's just it's the easiest thing to give it to Brady in that situation. I feel like
Yeah, to be
Bucs
honest,
defense deserves so much credit. Dismantled the timing control. Listen, that's true, but I think like what Sam said, it's hard to pinpoint. But Eli, go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, Brady just managed the game well. I mean, you can't really say. I mean, if anybody, Gronk's 2 touchdowns, but who's throwing him the ball? So it's so they're never gonna give a linebacker or anybody like that type of shot. And plus, it's Brady's 10th Super Bowl, and before it was gonna be he was going for 7, so of course he's gonna get Super Bowl MVP because everybody just Brady. So listen. Even the female ref that was reffing in the Super Bowl, I think her son's name is like Brady, and he was born like a day after or whatever before.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
why that's what you're saying.
So the fix is
That
in.
makes
You trying to say
sense.
you trying to? I think my man trying to say the fix is in, bro.
Listen.
But no, like that's the thing. I think you guys all said it well. It's the defense deserves a lot of credit. Sam, you're right, and Alex, you said it in the comments as well. They destroyed any chance that the Chiefs had at winning this game. But the problem is trying to pinpoint who it is. Like CJ, I think in the Patriots Super Bowl against the Rams, like if I was to give a MVP out, I still think Gilmore should have taken that one over everybody because he locked everything down. So it's weird. I still obviously would have given it to Brady. He had the 3 touchdowns. He had I think at one point he had like an 80% completion percentage in the first half. So I think that was like a Super Bowl record as well. But it was just a great overall performance. And I think if there was somebody else that you said you could have given it to, it probably was going to be Leonard Fournette, for the simple fact I think he had like 150 or something, like 120-ish area total yards.
Yeah.
So he had that. He had the touchdown, of course. So it's definitely possible. Gronk had the 2 touchdowns, of course. But I like Eli said before, who's throwing him the ball. So it's kind of a hard thing to do. But, it's a quarterback award if we're all being honest right now.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I wouldn't have been against the Devin White.
Nah, I wouldn't have either.
I mean, because even look at the one against Seattle. You could say Malcolm Butler could have given me the play of the game. The Broncos put on a beautiful defensive performance against the Panthers. They gave it to Von Miller. So
there were also the Seahawks and Broncos. The one of the
Malcolm Smith, right?
Malcolm Smith, yeah, exactly. So
so
it definitely happens.
But that's
Rarely.
just rarely, exactly. That's the league, and they're gonna favor the quarterback.
Gronk would be in the combo, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 2 TDs.
You set the tone.
Especially since the story that was coming into the season. Does Brady need Belichick? Belichick need Brady, and Brady kind of prove the point
The
that
whole
he's
system,
not
the whole system quarterback thing. Yeah.
And that's a great transition. We're gonna. What do you guys think about? Do you think this is his most impactful victory, Super Bowl victory for Brady, and is the GOAT discussion over? The narrative throughout the week was, baby GOAT versus the GOAT, and Mahomes could potentially get the 6, even though again, like I feel like they're overrating the fact of how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. One game, any given Sunday, that's the most iconic term when you talk about these games, and it's just it's not easy. We thought Russell was going to get there multiple times after they went back to back. We thought Rodgers was going to get there multiple times, and he's fell short a couple times. So, what do you guys think about this victory right here for Brady, his 7th? Like we just talked about, 5th Super Bowl MVP. And is the discussion over? Do you see him as automatic GOAT in all sports, in football included, and
Brady never been a system QB. Patriots don't have a system.
I've
I've said that too, bro, because everybody talks about systems, and the NFL is a copycat league. So if Tom Brady was a system quarterback, why wouldn't you copy the system?
That's the worst term to me.
It is.
Every
Worst
team
one.
has a system.
I feel like I feel like people really just mean like just him playing with Belichick under that specific Belichick system of football,
Yeah, I think it's just a safe way of saying like he was only good because of Belichick.
with Belichick, right.
Every single team has some type of system to make their team successful. So,
Oh,
now,
yeah.
what do you guys think about Brady getting number 7? And do you think this one without Belichick, like we talked about, was his most impactful ring? We could go with Sam.
I mean, I think the Brady's a system quarterback narrative can stop now. I mean,
100%.
I think definitely, is this his most impactful game? Yes and no. I think the 28-3. I mean, he definitely played like he had more left in the tank after that one. But that would have been a historic way to go out. But I think this seals the deal. I'm a diehard Packer fan, and I know darn well that Aaron Rodgers is not the GOAT. Aaron Rodgers might be more talented than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's better overall leader. Brady in the playoffs is better than Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. This seals the deal. I think Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT. I think that can stop now. I think Tom Brady is the official GOAT. I think the conversation should have been over a long time ago.
Yeah, Eli. Yeah, Nick, you go.
Nick, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't agree more with Sam. Honestly, I mean, like, what what was even the debate? Like, I mean, are we debating Rodgers to Brady? Are we debate like what is the debate? I mean, it's Brady. If he didn't already cement his legacy, I mean, he put the icing on the cake with this one. Like, complete new team, first year with the team, new guys. I mean, besides Gronk and AB, but I mean, it's like new coach, new everything, and he won the bowl, bro. Like, you just got to tip your cap to that guy, man. I mean, it's hard coming from a Bills fan saying that he has demoralized our team for years with New England. Like, it's hard to say that, but I tip my cap to you, good brother. You are the GOAT. You are the GOAT, and that's hard. That's like I said, it's hard coming from a Bills fan to say that.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, it was a no-brainer. You saw what Jameis did with the Bucks last year. So Tom Brady coming to a team with all those weapons. Yeah, like, come on. Like,
he got that LASIK now, bro. Maybe he 2020.
You got to shake that. You got
that LASIK.
Yeah, he has to shake that nickname.
I mean,
listen.
I
he can't shake the narrative. Jameis isn't allowed to shake the
wanna-
narrative because I got a bet with Caleb that he's going to win. Caleb thinks he's going to win a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. I got like $100 bet with Caleb that's never going to happen. So Jameis ain't allowed to do good.
I think you're highly favored in that bet.
Nah, I think those odds were crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, I don't want to say that the Super Bowl was handed to them on a silver platter, but that offense is just disgusting. Because their defense was subpar. Like, it was okay throughout the season. What they finished,
They were top five.
No, I'm talking about their record. The Bucks record was like what?
They're 11-5.
11-5. Like, there's so much. I mean, if you throw Aaron Rodgers on the Bucks, I mean, it's. Listen,
but Aaron Rodgers on the Packers, they have a good team, bro. I mean, they could.
Yo, but compared to all the weapons that the Bucks has, like,
I mean, yeah,
like the Bucks' backup tight end Cameron Brate is fucking amazing. He's the shit.
Their third string tight end is OJ Howard.
Exactly. So look what that says. Like, they were just stacked. Like, you couldn't have given Brady a better team, to be honest. It's that at the end of the day, like, that was a perfect fit for Brady, to be honest. Like, you're giving him so many people that could help him. The pickup with AB as well is just like, god damn. Like, who else is gonna come to that team? So, I mean, listen,
that's the Brady effect, baby.
And then Leonard Fournette is just like, all right, come on, guys. Like, we're really gonna hand Brady a Super Bowl. Like, you guys are really just gonna let that happen. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, Brady's still the GOAT because he's done it with a lot less. But it's wild. Like, I wish the Eagles had an offense like that.
Listen, you guys could have an actual offense if anybody stayed healthy, bro.
Listen, yeah.
I think the stadium is built on a burial ground. I've said this for years, bro. There ain't no way that everybody keep getting injured like that. Somebody got a voodoo doll.
I mean that goes to show, it's all about the O-line. Same thing. Carson couldn't do nothing. It's just.
I mean, look at Watson's year. Like, they were talking about him in MVP category, and he was getting manhandled all year. Like, no O-line to protect him. It's like that's the fundamental starting point of, like, good offense.
Russell Wilson, bro, and we'll get into that later too.
Super frustrated.
We'll get into that. Yo, CJ, actually all of you, I want to know if I'm prisoner of the moment here because you obviously asked the question where this ranks. Now, Sam, I agreed with you for the longest. That 28-3, number one. I mean, bro, come on. That just doesn't happen. I think I put this one first overall now. And like I said, it can be prisoner of the moment, so you can tell me if I'm bugging or not. But no preseason. There are limited OTAs, new coach. You still got to make the connection. Like, don't get me wrong, Evans and Godwin are obviously great wide receivers, so it can't be that hard to make a connection with them. But you still have to do it. We obviously saw in those first couple of weeks that it wasn't going so well. There was some mistiming on the routes and everything like that. But then you get into the journey, like. He played the second. Don't get me wrong. I don't think any of us thought he was going to lose to the Washington football team because they had Heineke as starting quarterback. But like, I think they were. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying. They had like the number 2 defense, and their front seven was crazy. So he beats them. All right, cool. Then you beat Drew Brees, who you had been going back and forth with for the records all the time. You know, obviously Drew Brees, one of the better quarterbacks of all time. Then, sorry, Sam, once again, you go into Lambeau, where I think Brady has never won. You beat Rodgers, who, like some people were trying to say, is, you know, the go over Brady, this, that, or third. I mean, if you want to say that, you can have fun. I need to know whatever, you know, I don't listen, whatever you're smoking, pull some out because I don't know what it is. But so you go and beat Rodgers in Lambeau, and then you go to the Super Bowl where you're finally at home, which is crazy, first of all, and you beat the person that everybody's saying is going to replace you. Like, just that journey in itself, like, that's a movie in itself. Just this journey to the Super Bowl. So, like, I put it number 1. Now, am I crazy? Like,
yeah, I don't think you're crazy. Yeah, the Falcons won, man.
The Falcons won. Yeah, that was just come on.
I felt like it was no way he'd be able to top that.
Bro, I still go back and watch. I still go back and watch those highlights sometimes, bro.
Yeah, it was
watching those mic'd ups. Oh.
Even the Seattle one too. I
think Seattle.
Why don't you run the ball?
I think Seattle is his most underrated Super Bowl. I think Seattle is his most. Bro, down.
Yeah,
they were down 10 in the fourth quarter, 200 plus yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth. That's different against the Legion of Boom. Come on, son.
It's just
I guarantee Marshawn Lynch falls forward, but whatever. You know, what do I know?
Yeah.
Shout out our boy Dante Hightower, CJ, for making that tackle.
Big time tackle and that one at first down. Man, I think this one is definitely the most impactful. Again, the Belichick narrative. I mean, free agent, they let him walk for nothing. Traded Gronk, pretty much got. I think Patriots got a seventh round draft pick or something like that for Gronk. AB was there last year. He put that on himself while he got cut. But
AB did all the wrong things and still ended up with a ring, bro.
Exactly. It took him a year to figure it out. Retire. He had to humble himself. Tom gave him a call. Told him,
whoever's part of his like marketing team, they did great. They're like,
bro,
make sure nobody wants you.
Antonio Brown's PR team. Goated. Yeah, that's like the dream team for the OJ case, bro.
All he had to do was just stay silent. That's it. Just not say much and just let his play do the talking, and it paid off. But I think this one is definitely
the fact that it might be true, Alex, is what annoys me the most. Because, bro, CJ, you know it because we're Patriot fans. Belichick can't draft in the first or second round. Like, it's not possible. He can't do it. Then all of a sudden, like some 7th round Northern Mississippi, Division III linebacker turns into Chandler Jones or something like that. I'm like, bro, but you can't get it right on the people that are supposed to be good.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's incredibly cheap. So we'll see what happens with this cap money that they have. But again, like I said, Brady, all he wanted was some weapons. And we talked about in our Super Bowl recap on Sunday when we went live. I was saying, none of those guys could create separation. I mean, all of us here could be wide receivers for the Pats right now.
This man Alex been trying to get signed by an NFL team, bro. Somebody do it so he stops talking.
I mean, yeah, we need anybody. But I mean, back to Brady. Like I said, he killed all the narratives. Went to a different conference. Went to a conference where all the other teams have been in the Super Bowl in the last 10, 12 years. So it was just. Matt Ryan probably be in the Hall of Fame. He has the numbers. He'll probably get in. Drew Brees, obviously, first ballot. And like the Panthers, they had some really good years. So they went to the bowl. They went to the bowl a couple times. Brady went up against them in the early 2000s. So they've been solid here and there. This Buccaneer team has the worst winning percentage in all of sports. So for him to go there, get the bowl against the team that everybody said was invincible. I feel like this is definitely at the top. So,
Sam, I need to know if this is true. Alex is a high second round pick. Is this true?
Steal the draft.
Oh God! Now you're just lying to the people, bro. On our first show, we're gonna lie to the people. Oh God!
Let's. So we talked about both teams are really good. I mean, even though Kansas City had a depleted offensive line, they still had a great record. They still did their thing throughout the playoffs, obviously, except on Sunday. Do you guys think we'll see a part two? We know how hard it is to get for teams to go back to the bowl. Kansas City did it and lost. Last team to repeat was that Patriot team 03-04. So what do you guys think we'll see a rematch? I know obviously you guys could be biased towards your teams in the NFC and AFC to potentially get in there, and where the Packers and the Bills have a really good shot every single year now. So what do you guys think? Start with Eli. I'll start with Eli because I don't know what the transition is, what's going on over there. But.
No, listen. I mean, I do believe they have there's a high chance of a repeat of the Super Bowl. It all comes down to like being humble and wanting a chip rather than chasing the bag. A lot of players do end up having, I guess they rather have that stability, because look at what's happening in Dallas for Dak. You rather take guaranteed money than what if and you get injured, and it's just like you're just in limbo right now. So I mean, it's all about just wanting to get there again. And if players could take pay cuts to just keep the team together and just nail the draft, that's what I'd do.
Right. Yeah. I'll just a follow up for Sam and Nick. Tampa Bay, they have a lot of their key guys are going to be unrestricted free agents. They do have $40 million cap space. Kansas City, on the other hand, they're kind of strained against the cap. They'd have to make some moves to free up some cap, especially to shore up that offensive line. So, So I'll throw it back to you guys. You guys think they'll be able to be able to keep those guys? And do we see a Tampa Bay Kansas City rematch next year? We'll go with Sam.
I don't see a rematch. I mean, I think the Chiefs will be back. I think the Chiefs are going to be the AFC team to beat for a while. I think the Buccaneers have a shot, but like you just mentioned, they're losing. They have Shaq Barrett tagged, I think. I thought they ended up extending him. Chris Godwin's up, Rojo's up, AB's up. And Chris Godwin didn't really do a ton in the playoffs. We saw quite a bit of Tyler Johnson throughout the season. They have other wide receivers on their roster like Tyler Johnson that they can develop. And I personally don't see the Buccaneers' success lasting very long. I don't think it's going to be this long-term success. I'm not ruling out Tampa Bay drafting a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. Would you rather? Because Tom Brady's got 1 year left of his contract. This might be a hot take, but Tom Brady has 1 year left of his contract. And he was saying, I think he was entertaining, playing beyond his contract. But what else is he supposed to say? He's not going to go out and say, I'm done after these 2 years. I'm done after the Super Bowl. Because as soon as he says that, the media is just going to blow up, and the media is just going to come after Tom Brady with all these interviews asking why. Would you rather have Tampa Bay draft a quarterback to sit behind the GOAT for a year and then take over, or wait for Tom Brady to retire when he's no longer on the Buccaneers, or if they just don't re-sign him and he does decide to continue to play, and they put him right into a starting situation, unless they go out and sign Fitzmagic if he's still in the NFL. But I don't see them bringing back Godwin. I don't see them bringing back Rojo. I do think Shaq Barrett's staying.
Yeah, Nick, you could answer that question that Sam presented to us. What do you think? You think they should draft a QB these first 2 rounds? It's a definitely fair point. I think it's something Jason Light should definitely consider.
No, definitely. I mean, I agree. Just he's going to continue going on just with a just not knowing what Brady's going to do. So I mean, you do have to I feel like you do have to draft a quarterback and develop him. I mean, if Tom Brady's going to stay with the team, why not have him sit behind the GOAT, and learn from the GOAT? And as far as like the re-signing of certain players, I mean, they do have a lot of players that are like in limbo right now, and I feel like they could afford to let like Godwin walk for sure. But as far as them being in the Super Bowl back to back, I don't know. Just like Sam said, I feel like, I don't know if Sam or Anthony said this, but Kansas City is still the top dog in the AFC to beat. They played like dirt in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I get that, but until a AFC team can trump them, I feel like they're still the top dog in the AFC. Tampa Bay, I can't really say the same for them. Like, yeah, they won the Super Bowl, but like, can they still have that top dog mentality going into next year? I really don't know.
And this is the big point to bring up as well, because after the Super Bowl and everything like that, Bruce Arians already said, yeah, like Mike Evans was like, yeah, I'll restructure my contract if if we need to do that to get some guys back. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for many reasons, obviously, with the quarterbacks and everything that's going on right now. But Mike Evans already saying that he would restructure his contract, and because then you can afford. Listen, I think they had to bring back Barrett. I think they find a way to bring back Levante David. I know he's a free agent as well. Godwin, I agree with you, Sam. I think he's out of there. Maybe they bring back Rojo because I think Fournette is gone as well. So they're going to need obviously some type of running back. So I don't know which one you want to keep. And then the sneaky one that I think they can bring back is AB. Because I just don't know what his market is. Like, obviously he was a free agent and he went to the Bucs. I don't know if that's Tom Brady, but now, like, in the back of AB's head, I wonder if he's kind of like, damn, I kind of owe this dude a little bit more than a year. He obviously has his Super Bowl now and everything like that, but I kind of wonder in the back of his head, he's like, damn, he kind of, saved my career a little bit. Because I might still be on the streets if Brady wasn't like, listen, go out and get him. So I feel like AB a little sneaky one to bring back, that if they can work out a deal with him somehow, but they got a lot of stuff to do. And Sam, it's a great point out of you about drafting a quarterback. It's something I didn't even really think about. The only reason I would say no is because, and it's a stupid thing to say no for, because, and listen, we're from New York, so I see the Mets do this all the time. So it worries me of letting fans control things. And they haven't had a quarterback in the history of their franchise. They just won a Super Bowl with the GOAT, and now they're gonna draft a quarterback. Like, I wonder how well that would go over. I think the PR team might have to put out some fires if they end up doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe not in the first two rounds, because you might have another Brady Garoppolo thing going on. But I think. Will they be back? It's going to be tough. AFC, the Chiefs for sure. Until somebody stops them. The Ravens, they don't have a number one target. Lamar still has to improve as a pocket passer. Buffalo, I think they need to improve their run game a little bit more. Definitely get a bell cow back there so they can kind of control the clock and play more balanced.
Definitely agree with that.
Fournette could be. I don't know what their cap looks like, but Fournette would be a great fit for Buffalo for sure. The way he runs, physical guy. Those are the two teams. The Titans, you know what they're gonna do. Give it to Derrick Henry, 400 times a season, and then hopefully Tannehill could control the clock and do a couple things, make some plays with his feet, manage the game. So, I don't see any other team really stopping them. In the AFC and the NFC it's pick 'em, man. It's like I said, it's like the Western Conference in the NFL. In the NBA. It's just so many stacked teams. Everybody thought 49ers would be back this year. They got injury plagued and weren't able to get back. Seattle, they were the only NFC team to go back twice in the last few years or so. So Green Bay, obviously, Saints are going to take a step back. Whether Drew comes back or not with his health, and he's obviously declining as he gets older. So they have a shot definitely. You can't count out Tom, especially when it's playoff time. But it's going to be tougher. Teams are going to try to enhance their team. Like we're going to talk about in a little bit. Teams are trying to scramble, try to find somebody to make that move to, put them over the hump, similar like what Tampa Bay did last offseason to get a guy like Tom. So I think it'll be tougher for Tampa Bay in the NFC, but in the AFC, until I see it. I mean, I just because again, like I said, Baltimore they're 0-3 against Kansas City, and like I said, they don't even have a number one guy to Lamar to get the ball to. Snead is a 3, if that,
At
and
best.
Hollywood is a 2, maybe a 3. So it's going to be tough. Mark Andrews had a down year, so I got to see some more from those AFC teams. But I think I don't see it. I don't see a rematch. All right, so yeah, well, we talked about in the beginning of the show, talked about how Tampa Bay did an excellent job against Kansas City. Not even they didn't even get a touchdown, which if whoever put money on that is rich. I doubt anybody put money on it, but because it's just you don't even expect that. Do you guys think other teams are going to try to mimic Tampa Bay's style to try to stop Kansas City? Because again, like we talked about, these teams. I felt like it was a fear factor a little bit when these teams went up against Kansas City. They were a little scared, knowing that they could score at any moment with the weapons that they have. So, Sam, do you think other teams are going to try to copy that strategy in order to stop Kansas City going forward?
I mean, I think looking at Tampa's defense and even the performance of the playoffs, like a Super Bowl specifically, a lot of teams are going to look at the draft and see how much, or even free agency, and see how much a linebacker actually does matter. Because I went into this game thinking, the Packers probably won't draft a linebacker in the first round. We have Kirksey. The Packers never spend big money on linebackers. They drafted Blake Martinez, let him walk. A lot of people said, he went off on the Giants, and a lot of people were saying the Packers should have brought him back. I think he was asking for like $10+ million. But the big thing I took out of that is that Super Bowl game. I think teams are going to look at that, especially the Packers. I'm hoping they do, and realize how much the linebacker position actually does play a crucial part in that defense. Because look at Devin White. I remember writing a draft profile on him, and it's Coach O. He's going to praise his guy, but Coach O compared him to Patrick Willis. I personally don't like comparing guys out of college to Hall of Famers because I think that's a little bit out of the blue. We've seen DK Metcalf compared to Calvin Johnson already in his
The disrespect
season.
Not even close, bro.
But I think Devin White does have all-pro talent written all over him. But I think teams are going to look at this as hopefully the Packers too, how much the linebacker position does matter. And I think they're going to look at the defense specifically in that game to try to stop, to see what pieces they can add in both the offseason or free agency and the draft to stop that Kansas City offense. Because I don't think we talked about the free agency for the Chiefs yet, but they have Sammy Watkins up, Le'Veon Bell's gone, and Mecole Hardman. To me, I don't really think Mecole Hardman has really solidified himself as a second option. I think they can easily go out and draft someone like Terrace Marshall or Amon-Ra St. Brown, even Rondale Moore if he falls, because Andy Reid loves speed. They drafted Mecole Hardman when Tyreek Hill was still suspended. So they drafted Mecole Hardman initially assuming that he was going to be their guy until Tyreek Hill came back. And I think Sammy Watkins is going to end up going and getting paid. So there's a lot of offense. There's, I guess, potentially 2 key offensive pieces that are going to be leaving for that Chiefs offense too.
Yeah, EJ, you could go.
My son muted. Hold up.
I'm sorry. Okay. Good call. But I do believe teams will try to. I hope the Eagles try to value that linebacker position because we have a.
You guys don't even know what a
Gary.
linebacker is.
Yeah, we try to convert a safety into a linebacker that can't cover for nothing. As you saw, Nathan Garrett get torched by Pittsburgh time after. Like, it's just, I don't understand how you can't value. I don't understand how you can't value a linebacker. Like it's someone that could cover tight ends, that sits in that could tackle, that could basically cover running back. It's mind-boggling. Like I don't understand how I'm still an Eagles fan after this season or the prior seasons, because it's just like when there's a good linebacker on the board, and I'm just like, oh yeah, the Eagles need a linebacker. It's just nope, we'll draft one in like the 6th round, 7th round, thinking he's gonna be a all-pro linebacker, and it just doesn't work that way. So linebackers do make a big difference. They're undervalued in this league, but when you see guys like, if you could get like a Luke Kuechly, or like a Navarro Bowman, or like a Devin White or anybody like that, a game changer, then you should, like a coverage linebacker that could also tackle. That's really something that's like undervalued in the NFL.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was going to be Tremaine Edmonds for us, but I'm still not completely sold on that guy. And now we got to figure out if we're going to re-sign Matt Milano to something long term. So, and I feel like he's one of the better coverage linebackers in the league, honestly. But yeah, I mean, teams are going to want to just watch that game film and see what Tampa Bay's defense is able to do to that dynamic offense. Like, why would you not want to mimic that or come up with your own scheme to resemble that in some type of way,
Yeah, and there's a lot of I'm sorry, but there's a lot of
no, you're good.
A lot of teams they like to draft from outward in, starting with like DBs and corners, but it all starts with giving your corners enough time to cover. So it's that front seven is a main focal point of a defense, because without a front seven, it's just basically it's nothing. If you can't pressure the quarterback, you got nothing.
I feel like you can make up for bad corners if you have a great pass rush like that. Like, that really
if you have
does
a great
make sense.
pass rush, yeah. But linebackers, they're just going to eat up the middle of the field all day. So,
and that's one of the things the Bills struggle with against Kansas City in that AFC Championship game. We couldn't get pressure on Mahomes, and so I mean, I hope, just like every one of you guys said, you hope your team could study that game film. I really hope Buffalo does, because like. We got good DBs. We got good safety. So it's like that's not the excuse. I mean, I thought we had good linebackers, but it was just like we got carved up, and chalk it up.
That's the thing. That's the thing too. Like, we all want, obviously our team to do that because we think the Chiefs are going to, be here for a long time. But that's where the hard thing comes in. Nobody's really built like the Bucs. Like, if you look, their defense is fast as hell. Like, and that's 100%. What you have to do to keep up with the Chiefs, because everybody on the Chiefs. Bro, Tyreek Hill's high school track team would have been in like 4th place in the Olympics. Like, that's the type of speed we're talking about. Like, and that's not even a lie either. That's like a legitimate fact. So we're dealing with that kind of speed on the Chiefs offense, and you can't just go out there and be like, oh yeah, we're going to pick him because he's fast. Like, that's not what Devin White is. Devin White is a great linebacker. He just happens to be fast as well.
Right.
And, Lavonte David, he did an excellent job covering Travis Kelce on multiple plays yesterday. Winfield in at the safety position was doing a wonderful job. And hell, you got to give credit to Carlton Davis. They didn't say Carlton Davis's name until the 3rd quarter. And I mean, when they played, what was it, week 11 or week 12 when they played the Chiefs in the regular season?
It was trending.
Bro, Carlton Davis. I think me and CJ could have went out there, ran a route real quick, and caught a ball on Carlton Davis. But he wasn't mentioned until like the 3rd quarter of that game, and that's the thing you want to hear out of your cornerback. The best cornerbacks are the ones you never have to hear their names. So it's hard. Like, yeah, you can look at that game plan all you want, but unless you have JPP, Vita Vea, and Shaq Barrett, destroying the pocket to sack Patrick Mahomes, you can't really change. You can't really copy that game plan. If you don't have Devin White to run sideline to sideline every single play and be involved in, it felt like every single tackle, you can't run that same game plan. So it's definitely something to watch, but it's going to be interesting to see what teams do moving forward. Because like I said, the NFL is the biggest copycat league there is. So we're going to find out what teams are going to end up doing.
Definitely.
But
yeah,
we'll move it on from there. From the Super Bowl, we talked about everything. Now we got to get into some of the off-season movements that might look like they're going down. We'll kind of break this down quickly. Don't want to keep everybody here too long, so we'll get started with this. This is going to be a crazy off-season that's what everybody's saying. Knowing the NFL, we say this, and then there's going to be like 2-1 trade, so it doesn't really matter. But what are some of your guys' thoughts on the potential movement of quarterbacks this offseason? Obviously, Carson Wentz. We all know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Now coming out today, Russell Wilson is having issues with the front office not keeping him protected. I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on in the quarterback world in the NFL, which is obviously a premium position. So, you know what? We'll start it off with you, Nick. What do you think is going on? Just your thoughts on what this offseason could be. Like I said, Carson could be on the move. Russell's not happy. Deshaun wants to leave. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy time.
Man, it is crazy. And I just feel like this is one of the most recent off seasons I can remember where there's so many quarterbacks in limbo, like who's going where, who's going to land a quarterback. Colts need a quarterback. Jets, who knows what the Jets are going to do? Sam Darnold's in limbo. Are they going to draft Trevor Lawrence? It's just like it's crazy, and I'm just interested to see like if the Texans are so adamant about not wanting to trade Deshaun Watson, like is he going to sit out the whole season? Is he going to refuse to play? Like, what's that going to do for his market going into next offseason? Like it's really just like there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start with the whole quarterback stuff because there's so many quarterbacks being talked about being moved that I just can't keep up with everything. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about it, so I could be more knowledgeable about it. Because there's so many. Like,
yeah, Sam, you're involved with this a lot too, and I know you got the college stuff to worry about too. So I'm really interested, honestly, to see what you have to say because depending on what these quarterbacks go or how this stuff goes, that has a lot to do with college. And obviously, I know you're the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay with Nick's point on Deshaun Watson. I think Houston came out the other day and said they're adamant on not trading him. He has a no-trade clause, and I like the Jets' destination. He can easily just say, I don't want to play for the Jets. He can easily just hold out. I think Deshaun Watson's played his last snap as a Houston Texan. And I part of me really wants to say I'm going into April assuming that the Houston Texans will be picking in the first round of the draft. QB, yeah, I mean, we could see like 5, maybe 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. But there's so many. Like, I like Miami. Miami to me just seems too good to be true, because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they're giving up on Tua. I think Tua was their 4th or 5th pick. He was right before Herbert.
Yeah.
And you already have players coming out and saying, we don't think he's our guy. Fitzpatrick's gone. They already announced that Tua's the guy next season. They shouldn't have played Tua all season. Tua came off a hip injury. I think it was the Arkansas game, the 2019 season. And then Carson Wentz. If they trade Carson Wentz, that Nick Sirianni hire makes less sense because it seems like to me they brought all that coaching staff in to fix Carson Wentz. And then they sent out a tweet the other day said the problem's still here, aka Howie Roseman. And I think the Eagles, I think Doug Peterson deserved to get fired, but I think they messed up by waiting like a week and a half to fire him because then they had very limited options. And I think it was the day before they hired Sirianni, they had Josh McDaniels in. They were talking to him for like 8-9 hours from what I was hearing. So I thought he was going to be their guy. And we're seeing we haven't talked about the Bieniemy because I'm interested to hear everyone else's points because we're seeing guys like last season, Joe Judge and Kevin Stefanski. Granted, Kevin Stefanski proved everyone wrong. This season, Dan Campbell, a.k.a. I call him Adam Gase 2.0 hire. And I feel like there's another one that I'm missing. But Dan Campbell he was the interim head coach. I want to say it was right before the Dolphins hired Gase.
Yep.
In 2015, he was the interim head coach, and then he's been the Saints tight ends coach for like 2-3 seasons. That's his entire coaching resume. And he gets a head coaching job over Eric Bieniemy. And it was awesome to see, too, like players like Tyreek Hill, I think Sammy Watkins, I don't remember who they all were, really come out and like I was reading these comments here, but really come out and have a lot of high praise for Eric Bieniemy, because I really don't understand how Bieniemy can go 3 straight off seasons without landing a head coaching job.
It's a weird situation with Bieniemy for the simple fact, like, people, it is weird because, like, they take away praise from Bieniemy because they're like, oh, Andy Reid's probably has a lot to do with it, blah blah blah, and then you hear the stuff that he doesn't interview well. Like, you just got your team to back-to-back Super Bowls, and the offense is averaging 30 points a game with Patrick Mahomes. Like, at some point, bro, how bad are his interviews? Like, is he going into the office and being like,
Right?
"Yo,
What
listen, guys,"
is he saying?
like
in interviews?
that's what I'm saying, bro. He got to be going into these interviews like, yeah, by the way, your roster sucks. I hate your GM, and yeah, I just don't want. Like, what else could he possibly say that he's not getting job offers?
I mean,
But-
if I'm him, I'm staying. I mean,
Bro, that's listen.
you're not going to bet a better quarterback. You're not going to bet a better quarterback coaching Mahomes than anybody out in the league right now. So, I mean, yeah, go ahead though. Yeah.
It is. Listen, I would stay too. Like when Josh McDaniels was going to go take that Colts job, I thought he was crazy. Like, bro, you got to win. You got to win more Super Bowls in New England. And then he decided. He said, you know what? Kind of changed my mind here. He pulled. Just kidding. No takesy backskis, but I guess it's going to be interesting. But Eli, what are your thoughts on the quarterback situation? Because you're more involved in it than us. You got your boy Carson out here. Listen, and before you go, I'm sorry, because I might have cursed him because I picked Carson Wentz before the season to win MVP, and well, it didn't go my way, to say the least.
Sheesh.
As you said, Houston's dumpster fire that's happened in Houston. It becomes a problem when one of your most respectable players in franchise history, J.J. Watt, says like he's done. They haven't done anything for that team. They didn't do anything for Deshaun. You replace DeAndre Hopkins, I guess, like his production, and you bring in Randall Cobb for Deshaun Watson.
Brandon Cooks.
And Brandon Cook, yeah, that says a lot as an organization. I do like that. What Sam said, Miami, it seems like a perfect destination for him. I do predict Carson goes to either Indy or Chicago because I think A-Rob is tired of that situation. And if they don't get a quarterback, I think he's going to force a trade. Also, Derek Carr on the Raiders. I think he might either go to the Bears as well because the Bears, they really need a QB. And a shocker, I think Dak will not be with Dallas. I find he might sign within the division out of spite. Might go to Washington. I see him might go to Washington because the Cowboys really did him dirty, and they continue to do him dirty because it's crazy. Like you're gonna franchise tag him back-to-back seasons. You're not gonna pay the man after everything he's done for that organization. And Dak is an amazing quarterback. I hate the Cowboys, hate Cowboys fans, but Dak deserves to get paid, and he deserves to have a team that actually values him. Because to be honest, if we didn't draft Jalen Hurts, I believe Dallas was going to take Jalen Hurts, and that would have been a big story. But I believe Dallas is done. I mean, not Dallas. Dak is done with Dallas for the time being. I love that Stafford pickup that the Rams got because, to be honest, 2 minutes left in the game, I'd rather have Matthew Stafford as my quarterback instead of Mr. Golden
Jared
Child
Goff.
over there, Mr. Jared Goff. Yeah. So I think that was a great pickup for them. I think they just need a true number one wide receiver. I'd say. I'd say they go after A-Rob. I would have said Galladay because Galladay they're kind of wasting his career just like Megatron, but they already did that trade with Detroit, so I doubt Detroit.
Well, I think Galladay's a free agent.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Galladay and
So
Marvin
yeah,
Jones,
Galladay.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Galladay and Allen
so-
Robinson are free agents.
So
So
we'll see where they go. So it all depends on these quarterback moves, but I think Carson he deserves a fresh start. The city of Philadelphia, the media did him dirty. You can't expect him to be great when our O-line is in shambles. We have Jason Peters doesn't want to
well, that man's like
play any
65.
position. Doesn't want to play any position but right tackle, but he moves like 1 mile per hour. Like he can't even move anymore. So it's going to be an interesting season. But I do have to say that if Jalen Hurts is our quarterback for the future, his high upside, I might sound crazy, could be Russell Wilson. Similar 40 times, similar height. He just has to learn the system and just develop a stronger arm. And I believe he could be that type of player, hopefully, because the athleticism is there. And you've seen what he did against Arizona. So, and Dallas was a pretty, it's just fumbles. That's it. He just needs to learn how to protect the ball. So there's my.
Yeah, and you mentioned a few other quarterbacks that I kind of wanted to get into as well. Dak Prescott hasn't signed a long-term deal yet. It's starting to get a little interesting over there, I would say so. I don't know if they would franchise him back-to-back seasons. I don't know, what the whole situation is going on over there. Now, I land in the boat of Dak is overrated. His numbers against 500 teams or teams above 500 are not good.
Yeah,
his numbers against teams below 500, he's an MVP. He's Tom Brady basically. But unless they start playing teams under 500 in the playoffs, I don't think the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl anytime soon. I saw a great, fantastic tweet today. I sent it into the group chat that the NFL said that they're going to make AT&T Stadium the home of the Super Bowl from forever now, so that there's no home games played in the Super Bowl anymore. but I don't know. I'm not on the Dak bandwagon. So I want to get into him, and then also Jimmy G. I could see the 49ers moving on from Jimmy. And listen, I'm just saying, if you're going to make a trade with a team, the 49ers should give up the state of California to get Deshaun Watson. Like, yes. I don't know if you got to trade
Watson,
bro. If you put Watson and Kyle Shanahan together, I might become a 49ers fan. I might just have to.
It's a Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl if that happens.
especially with everybody coming back on the defense, Sam. Like, I mean, Nick Bosa. What were the injuries this year? Nick Bosa was out for the year. Richard Sherman missed a lot of time.
Sherman's up though. Solomon Thomas, yeah. Sherman's up though. Sherman might be gone.
Yeah, Sherman probably be out there. Yeah.
Well, but either way, Shanahan with Deshaun Watson, crazy. But I want to get your guys' opinion on both of those quarterbacks. Obviously, we heard Eli about Dak, but I'll start with you, CJ. What you think about Jimmy G? Is he out of there? And then of course we'll go over to. Oh gosh, I literally just forgot the name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Deshaun, the Texans, I don't know what they're doing, man. I mean, he's got to be like top 5 best player in their franchise, and you get a quarterback, and they had Matt Schaub, they had David Carr, guys, average guys. So you find your QB, and now after year 4, he wants out. There's something wrong there.
Once had the God complex this year, try to air everything out, Moneyball. Right? You know what? I said that. No, but see, I totally agree with you because I said that because I'm a Carson Wentz fan. I don't know why, but I am, and I feel like he's good. But this year it was just like everybody's injured. I have to do this by myself. So he tried to make plays instead of throwing it away. So I do agree with you.
Yeah, he tried to do a lot. Again, the team was really depleted. On every position, really, O-line, skill position. So it's a weird thing. I see the media, they're automatically switching up on him now after just one bad season. It's a little weird, but that's the media. But yeah, Deshaun, the San Fran, if they can get Deshaun Watson, I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect for them. Have some really physical wide receivers in Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. They got Kittle there already, who could block and also get yards after the catch. He's a beast. How creative he is, I think that'd be a great fit. I'm giving up three first-round picks for him without a doubt. I mean, that's you need a franchise quarterback is what you need. I mean, I'll say franchise quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher, and then maybe backup quarterback, and then maybe a DB. Those are like the most valuable positions and for football. So if you could get that franchise guy, especially at his age, being 25, I think that'll be perfect for them moving forward in that division with Kyler Murray cooking and Russell Wilson also playing well. So, but yeah, I think, and then for Carson, I think the Colts would be a good fit. That's really all they need. They have a excellent offensive line. We've been talking about the trenches all this whole episode, and the offensive line have one of the best ever in Quentin Nelson. He's a beast. So Defense is really good as well. Surprising teams. They picked up DeForest Buckner from San Fran. He's had a big time year for Indy. Darius Leonard, obviously one of the best linebackers in the NFL. So they just need that guy in the center. Phillip plays solid. Just wasn't enough for them to get over the hump. So I think get a guy like Carson Wentz, has a relationship with Frank Reich back in Philly. He could kind of, do some things. Wide receivers, we'll see what happens with T.Y. I like Michael Pittman Jr. I like Jack Doyle. I think they could be pretty solid in a division that's very winnable, especially if Deshaun Watson leaves. So I think that'd be a good fit. Chicago could be a solid fit as well. Matt Nagy is known for making some being really creative in some offensive schemes. Tariq Cohen coming back after tearing his ACL. A-Rob probably leaves, but if they're able to get Wentz before the free agency, he may entice him to stay. So I think those two teams would be key for Carson. They should make that move. Those have been the biggest problems for them, especially for the Bears. They haven't found a guy in forever. So I think they need to make that move.
DJ, all I have to say is, bro, I can't support Tariq Cohen anymore after his tweet today. The man eats banana mayonnaise sandwiches.
That's
I can't. Bro, David Montgomery to the moon, bro. Shout out Dogecoin too, but bro, I can't support Tariq Cohen no more.
Word, yeah.
You got to get that QB, man. You look at these guys. Of course, defense does win championships, but if you get that right guy, Kirk Cousins. We've kind of he's a potentially might go to San Fran, but I don't think that puts them over the hump. He's good, not great. He's kind of. It would kind of be the same. It would be the same situation in Minnesota. They run the ball. They play West Coast. Both teams play West Coast. So, they're going to predominantly run the ball. He's going to be, he's great in play action. So I think that and he has a relationship with Kyle back when they were with the Washington football team. So that could be cool. But I think they should definitely, send the house for Deshaun. Dak is just. I don't know what's going on over there, man. They feel like they've been at odds, similar to really the Washington football team and Kirk Cousins a few years ago. It's like, can you tag him? Do you really want him? I kind of want him from 1 year. I'm going to tag him. Oh, no, I don't want him anymore. I'm going to just let him go. And, I feel like, Jerry, he's probably looking at Goff, looking at Wentz right now and seeing how both of those contracts look. And, both of those teams, one team already got rid of Goff. And the Rams, they got rid of Goff, and then Eagles are getting ready to get rid of Wentz. So he's probably looking at that like, do they really trust him? Because if they franchise tag him, that's just more money against the cap for them. So it would have been smarter for them to lock him up last year, and then build around it, that team. So it's just a never ending thing, man. I get he came off an injury, but the team seems like they really want him and they need him. So I don't know, man. It's tough over there, but I do like that. I do like that hot take with Washington football team. Dak could go over there and get some revenge, seeing them twice a year. They're another team that's a quarterback away. I know we'll talk about that in the fourth down, but they could definitely use a guy in the center that could take them over the hump with that front seven that we talked about that they have.
Yeah, Sam. I don't know if you wanted to go.
That was a lot. That's a lot to unpack because I wanted to say first too that I'm glad you brought up. You said something like a while ago about the media, like writing quarterbacks off the map after one bad year. That seems to be a big narrative too. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want to sit here and say Carson Wentz is terrible. He had one bad season. Nick, you're a Bills fan. People wrote Josh Allen off after one playoff choke, and he turns himself in and puts up an MVP performance. And Baker Mayfield's another great example. I love Baker Mayfield, and Skip Bayless said he'd rather have Baker than Josh. I didn't think he put Baker over Josh Allen or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
but I love Baker, but that's no chance. But Baker Mayfield, that's another great example. Is Baker Mayfield had a really, really impressive rookie season. Last year didn't do a ton, had a little bit of a sophomore slump, and Kevin Stefanski, new head coach. With a lot to prove, and certainly proved everyone wrong even after one season, 11-5. Baker Mayfield plays like their franchise quarterback. And I like the Dak to Washington. I like Watson to Washington as well. I don't think we brought this up either. The Cowboys dropped their hype video this morning.
Oh
Dak
yeah,
was
Dak
not in
wasn't
it.
in it.
Dak wasn't in it. So, and I was talking to my friend too, and he's like, "Yep, that sealed the deal. I don't think Dak's coming back." I like Dak a lot on the Saints, but I don't think the Saints have any cap space
bro.
at all.
The Saints got negative cap space.
Like if Dak was on the Saints, I think you could put the Saints pretty close to being contenders. I was that you, Anthony, that said you're not a fan of Dak. Well, you like Wentz better than Dak, right?
I do. Yeah, you're right.
I
Listen, Sam. I get myself into some sticky situations over here. Okay.
I like Dak to the Colts a lot too. I mean, I picked up Andrew Luck in my dynasty, worth the pickup. He was hyping up the media. I think it was I guess the media was hyping him up, but
Bro, I just need Andrew Luck to come back so that Captain Andrew Luck Twitter can come back, bro. That was the best Twitter account for the longest time. Dearest mother, we have landed.
And as far as Stafford, I think the Rams are under the most pressure these next 2 seasons because their last first round pick was Goff, which is going to be 5 years ago now. But if they don't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 seasons, that trade's not going to look good at all. And a few days after the trade happened, Stafford announced that they're not re-signing Stafford. They're letting Stafford play out that 2-year contract. And here's another thing. I put out a poll on my personal Twitter, and I'm curious to see everyone's answers on this. If the Lions trade Jared Goff before June 1st, they save $27.8 million. Now, I'm not ruling out the Lions drafting a quarterback in the first round with the 7th pick. Do you think the Lions should trade Jared Goff?
I mean, damn, I didn't know that they saved that much money. So hell yeah, you trade Jared Goff. I didn't. Wow, that's a great little nugget you just pulled out because I did not know that. But I would trade Goff if somebody could take him.
I would or have him compete for that starting job. Don't hand him anything. We traded for you, but that doesn't mean you're our future.
But imagine paying your backup quarterback that much money.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they bring a rookie in and he takes his spot, then yeah, they'll probably move him. they'll probably move him and try to get some more compensation.
Well, I mean, they could also easily just have Goff for 1 season,
right? And then
have a guy like Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I personally think Trevor Lawrence should be the only guy starting day 1. But if Justin Fields falls to them, although I like him in Atlanta a lot, but if Fields falls to them, that wouldn't be a bad destination for him. And then Jimmy Garoppolo. If the Niners cut Jimmy Garoppolo, their dead cap is only 2.8. And then I want to say he has 2 years left or 3 years left because if they cut him next year, it's 1.4. So I feel like there's a big reason why, I'm just excited to be with the team that wants me, says Goff. Yeah, Goff, being appreciated or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good.
I personally think Jimmy G's going back to the Patriots.
Oh my God, Sam! Why you do this to me, bro?
Oh man,
he's going to revive his career. He's going back to the Patriots.
Yo, but see, here's the thing. If he comes back to the Patriots, bro, and he does bad, Belichick is gonna get murdered because a lot of people forget, they were gonna trade Brady to the Niners instead of they actually offered Brady to the Niners first before Jimmy G. Imagine
they've been trying to push Jimmy G over Brady since that Chief game 6 years ago.
Facts.
I'm good. I'm all the way good on that guy.
I'm big chilling. Big chilling.
We need to get a young guy in there, mold him, maybe get a veteran guy for maybe another year.
You know what, CJ? I think, bro. I think that's what we should do for 4th down right now, bro.
Yeah. Let's transition to it. Yeah.
You got it, bro. Because you know what? I gotta give CJ props. This man came up with the idea, the little 4th down. We're a football show, so we go by downs over here. 4th down, play a little game real quick. I like the idea, CJ.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over a few teams. We talked about a few of them already. All you guys made some good points. It's sign, trade, keep, or draft. We kind of really already talking about it. Really, we'll start with New England since Sam made the point about Jimmy G possibly going back to to Foxborough. Personally, for me, I'll start personally for me. I mean, I'm good. I think I've seen enough. I've seen enough over there. What he did in San Fran, and I mean, yes, New England has about 60 to 65 million cap space, depending on what goes on with the overall salary cap we'll see in the new year. I think it's around 180 to 181. So they're gonna have cap space to potentially get some weapons and really fill out that roster. But the injury history for Jimmy G, I'm not a fan of that. Had the ACL, had the high ankle sprain last year. And then I just think I don't know if he's fit for that type of pressure, man. Also, just Brady winning this one, winning the seventh without Bill, then you bringing him back. And again, there was so much talk. They wanted to get rid of Tom for Jimmy G, and Bill wanted to trade, like you said, Bill wanted to trade Tom and keep Jimmy G, and that's why he just want to ask for a second round pick for Garoppolo. So I think we should go into the draft and try to find a guy and try to mold the QB. A lot of people are talking about Mac Jones to New England. I think he's a really good he had a really good season in Alabama. Yes, they had a lot of weapons, but again, like I said, New England could potentially get some guys to help him out. And that's one of the formulas you've seen in the NFL. You get a young quarterback and then use that cap space before they get their money to fill out the team. So I would definitely want to see that. I'm good on Jimmy. I'm good on Jameis.
No.
I'm good on a guy like Jameis. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, he's been on. I mean, why not go to the go? He's 3 for 4 right now and playing for all the AFC East teams. So why not go 4 for 4 and maybe come to? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm good. I think we should just.
CJ, I told you, bro. My grand plan for the Patriots, bro. We're trading for Wentz VP.
Nah, bro. Bro, I like Wentz. Wentz is cool. But
we got a good O-line.
The cap money, the salary.
Max Kellerman said that this morning. He said the Patriots should trade for Carson Wentz.
I turned the video off as soon as I heard that. I was just like,
listen, bro, bring Pennsylvania to New England.
Nah.
Nah, he's going to Indy for sure. For sure, he's going to Indy. I think that's his destination. Especially if they package in Zach Ertz. I could see us getting 2 first-rounders, and we'll pay some of that salary off.
Darnold to New England.
Remember who's coaching it too.
I'll take that.
So I think Indy makes a lot of sense.
Wait, CJ, who'd you take?
I would take
Darnold.
I would take Darnold over one. He's still young.
Because I mean, like, if the
That man sees ghosts on the field. Okay, he sees ghosts on the field.
But Mahomes saw ghosts on the field on Sunday. So
I did not hear that.
Yeah, but Mahomes got an MVP award to go back.
I know, but I mean, when you
got Adam Gase to fall back on.
with the Jets, yeah, exactly. I mean, they put him in the worst predicament ever. You had a guy look at the press conference, like Sam talked about. I mean, either him or Sirianni or Dan Campbell are like top 3 worst press conferences I've ever seen. So.
Yo, that man was shaking in his boots.
I mean, I would like to see how he looks with a fresh start for Darnold. Maybe Pittsburgh as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, I like that too.
If we're all assuming that the Jets are going to draft Lawrence, Jags
are going to take
Jacksonville's taking Lawrence.
I think Jets could. I don't know. They may take a guy like. I don't know if they take Penny or they may go after a guy like Zach Wilson. From BYU.
I'm telling you, they should just draft a wide receiver.
But
no, Sam. Oh God, I made Sam mad.
If you take Devontae Smith too, and you move Sam, then you move Darnold. What is that?
That's pointless.
I think Salah wants to start his regime. Though.
I think they're keeping Sam.
I think Salah wants to start his regime with his guy.
I think they should keep Sam.
Then they should keep Sam.
I just can't do it, bro. I'm not a Sam guy.
I get the argument of people saying new coaching staff, Robert Saleh's going to want a fresh start. I mean, it's not surprising at all that they're listening to offers for Darnold. I think they should take Penei Sewell, like you mentioned, CJ, or trade down. They don't move Darnold if they pick a wide receiver. This wide receiver class is almost deeper than it was last year. I think they can wait for a wide receiver. Plus, they have They have like 3 first-round picks. I think they do have 3 because they have their own. They have
The
Seattle.
Jets too.
Seattle's. Yep. And then they have like towards the end.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3. Yeah, I know they have.
I think
Seattle.
I thought
That
they had,
Jamal Adams trade.
I think they have 2.
Yeah, I think two sounds right. Yeah, because the other one was Seattle's. I think they should go Penei Sewell, or you trade down and get more draft capital.
I mean, you're not wrong there either. But I mean, all right. I can understand it. I guess.
EJ,
But-
what do you think? What do you think the Jets should do?
Draft the QB, man.
Draft the QB?
You know,
Move on from
I'm
Darnold?
already high on hell yeah. I mean, I think he's a good QB. I don't think that team or that setting is right for him because New York is New York is it's a very brutal place to play in, because I just think Adam Gase really messed up that team. I do believe Denzel Mims, I'm high on Denzel Mims. I believe that his second year coming out, he's going to be a great wide receiver. Because I believe in college he played with a broken hand and was still balling out. So they just need a quarterback. That's their main. Trevor Lawrence, he would turn that organization around. Probably give them.
They just had to win that game.
They just had to. I know they just had to win because coming into the season, like I'm a Philly fan, I knew we wasn't winning the division. I wanted us to lose as many games as possible to be higher up on the draft board. Because honestly, even if we are, we're probably gonna whiff on the drafting JJ Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf. I wasn't really sold on Justin Jefferson, but he really Jalen Reagor compared to Justin Jefferson. It's just I don't know what's up with this team.
My man is going through it, bro. He's going through it.
I just coming off a high off a Super Bowl win and then just dismantling that coaching staff, and then just we didn't help Carson enough, man. A QB really defines a team, So I do believe they're gonna go quarterback because Sam Darnold isn't it? They're not providing him with enough weapons or the right pieces, Trading Jamal Adams was mind-boggling, to be honest. So let's see what happens. Honestly, the Jets, their whole entire team sucks. So I mean, we'll see what happens this offseason.
Darnold would be nice on the Niners too.
Yep.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, he would be because he does have a strong arm.
I'm surprised we have as many Darnold stands as we do.
What do you think they would want?
I think they're
For
trying to
Darnold?
at least get a second back.
Like I'd say like a third, maybe fourth.
I think they're trying to get a second and like a sixth.
I think you're getting
I'd do
a third at
second.
best, but I think depending on who you're trading with, you could get a second, but it'll be tough because I feel like a lot of teams are going to look at him and say, like, it could be difficult for them to grade how good of a quarterback he is. Because the argument I have for keeping him is, yes, he was part of the issue, but at the same time, the Jets did nothing to give him a supporting cast. Denzel Mims was hurt, but Denzel Mims, their draft class was very promising. Like, LaMichael Pirine, I think, could be a very reliable complementary back. Mekhi Becton was
That man's a beast.
and Denzel Mims played well, like coming off of an injury. Like I think he would have imagine if he would have been healthy the entire season, he would have been a game changer for that, a playmaker for that offense. But I mean, their draft class wasn't bad at all. So I mean, are they going to move on from Jameson Crowder? Are they going to push Denzel Mims to be their number one guy? Are they moving on from Quinnen Williams? That'd be moronic if they do.
Well, it is the Jets, so. But CJ, while moving on to the next team, I guess.
Yeah, let's talk about the Panthers. I'll start with Nick with this one. Obviously, they got Teddy Bridgewater right now. Bridge quarterback, you could say, had a solid year. No McCaffrey, so it's tough to really truly judge how good he was. He had some solid moments in Carolina. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to go for a quarterback? or potentially look elsewhere, try to get a veteran guy, or keep Teddy for one more season.
I mean, me personally, I feel like they should keep Teddy for the season. Just them not having McCaffrey really hurt them, really set them back. Is what type of deal is Teddy on right now? Is he on like a
3
I think
years?
he signed 3 years. Yeah.
like a 3-year deal?
Yeah,
I mean, you signed to a 3-year deal, and then your star running back is injured the whole year. Like, I don't feel like you should just give up on him right there. I feel like you should keep him and see what you could do in the offseason as far as weapons and add into your offense and go from there. I don't feel like you give up on Teddy, especially signing like a 3-year deal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Nick. Teddy's a great locker room guy. Doesn't have an ego, and when he first came in the league and was healthy, he was lighting things up. So that injury kind of, I guess it kind of rattled him because that injury was very, very gruesome. But I think they should keep him, give him a chance. To have he has a season under his belt, so he should have I guess learn the offense a little bit more. You get back Christian McCaffrey, which is definitely a game changer. They just need to surround him with more pieces, and I think that they could if they nail this draft and free agency, they could probably make the playoffs. I believe that. I don't think he's a bridge quarterback. I do believe he's a starter. He's better than a lot of QBs in the league. He has the IQ. The athleticism isn't there, but he's really a solid quarterback, as you saw back when was it Vikings? Yeah, he was super solid. And then he had that year under behind
The
Drew
Saints.
Brees. So,
Yep.
yeah, so that probably did a lot for him as well. So I think they'll probably give him the season and then probably sign him to an extension to see how good he plays. But yeah, this season's going to be a defining moment for him. Hopefully he balls out.
Yeah, Sam, what you think?
I get both sides to it. I want to say I was talking to my friend about either Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott. I think Dak makes a lot of sense too because this team's rebuilding, and I don't remember what the record was. I know they're like
I think they were 5-11.
Yeah. To me, I think their roster was a lot more talented than their record showed. The first few games of the season, like they surprised a lot of people. Like I think they beat the Cardinals. Like that's when the Cardinals lost like 2 or 3 straight. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if they take a quarterback in the draft because I think Matt Rule's gonna want someone to groom, and you're gonna be sitting behind Teddy for potentially 2 years, but maybe even 1 if they can find a trade suitor for him. But I like Zach Wilson there.
Yeah, you obviously see it with everybody, so I guess I'm not going to be too crazy here. Obviously, Deshaun Watson makes a lot of sense. Once again, I know that they were talking about some trade packages where it would have been like Teddy, a first and some other picks. Listen, once again, if you're the Panthers, I would whatever state the Panthers play in. I don't know which Carolina it is, so whichever one it is, you know what? Go ahead, trade both of them. You can trade both Carolinas for Deshaun Watson anyway. Because listen, if you take Deshaun Watson, put him in the backfield with McCaffrey, those read options about to go stupid. I'll tell you that. So they'll be fun to watch. Then DJ Moore had a solid season. Curtis Samuel, I hate you because you stole like 5 Mike Davis touchdowns from my fantasy team, but he played pretty solid when McCaffrey went out as well. So, I think Watson obviously makes a lot of sense. I would love for that to happen. Teddy B, I would still throw in like 2 first-round draft picks, and then maybe a late round one, like you give him like a 5th or a 6th. I know you can obviously still find talent in those rounds, but hey. Because here's my thing with Watson and like draft picks. Draft picks are fantastic, bro. I'm a Thunder fan. We have like 85 draft picks in the next 3 years. They're all fine and dandy. But if you miss on the draft picks, they mean absolutely nothing. And you're drafting a quarterback, like Sam was like Sam's saying, if they draft a quarterback, you're drafting a quarterback hoping that they become Deshaun Watson. So, like, why not just take your draft picks and be like, oh, well, we have Deshaun Watson. We don't have to worry about that. Because, like we've said, if you get the quarterback right, you can start filling in a lot of different positions and make your team competitive. So, I think I would take my draft picks, Teddy B, both Carolinas, and ship them off.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Bridgewater. I think they should definitely look into the draft. I think Zach Wilson would be a good spot if he's not taken already. He's very mobile, can move out the pocket, make some plays. It's a really strong arm. So I think he could maybe sit for a year, sit behind Bridgewater. Bridgewater's a pro, like you guys said. He's a pro for sure. Veteran, he's seeing everything. He's able to sit behind him. They have some weapons. Curtis Samuel is an unrestricted free agent. So I think keeping him is key, especially with McCaffrey's health. He could kind of be that that weapon X guy that could kind of play out the backfield and also catch passes as the wide receiver as well. So I think they should bring him back for sure. Robbie Anderson had a really solid season after playing in New York with the Jets. It's considerable deep threat. DJ Moore is also really good too. So I think I say keep Teddy and then looking to draft and like you said, kind of groom Matt Rook and groom his guy. I mean, he's there for 5 years, so all options are open. I mean, they could obviously go for one of those top guys. They tried to get Stafford, but ultimately, Stafford wanted to play with McVay. That was the big reasoning as to why they made that move at LA and Detroit. Obviously, after all the beatings he's taken over there for 12 years, they granted him that wish and gave him his wish to go play in Los Angeles. So they're aggressive, which is good. But I mean, either if they're not able to get those top guys, I think they should try looking to draft. And then last team we'll talk about.
And the success is on Brady's shoulders. I think they can be fine with Bridgewater, but if you're not getting the number one guy, you love. Exactly. I think Bridgewater can be good, or he can be the bridge. It really depends on what you think about him. But we'll roll on, CJ.
Yeah, we'll finish off with the Saints. Obviously, Drew Brees, either later this week or next week, is supposed to announce his decision. A lot of people are expecting him to retire. Had a lot of injuries this year. Took some beatings. There's also seen him decline over the last few years as a passer. So Jameis Winston's there. Taysom Hill is there. Didn't really get to see too much of Jameis, obviously. Taysom Hill, what do you guys think about him as a potential franchise guy? To me, he's more like a situational quarterback, I would say. But Jameis is good. I think playing with a guy like Sean Payton, he can minimize those turnovers that he had in Tampa Bay, learn how to check it down, and necessarily force the pass every time. That's been his problem since Florida State. So, but what do you think about James? What do you think about the Saints, and what do you think they should do? And they have a I think their pick is in like the 20s in the first round. So, how do you see that working out in New Orleans? So let's start with Connie, and then we'll go Sam, Eli, and then Nick.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Saints. I don't think they really have a choice, and that's their problem. I agree with you, CJ, 100%. I don't get the Taysom Hill stuff. Yeah, he's the fun gadget quarterback that can play like tight end and run the ball or whatever, but he's not a quarterback. Like he's not a franchise quarterback, and that's what you need in the NFL, unless you have the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears defense where all you got to do is hold opponent. If you got to score more than 10 points, and you're going to win the game. But I don't think that's what Taysom Hill is. I think Jameis's deal was Jameis's deal only 1 year. So is that isn't he a free agent now as well? Right. So they don't have cap space. So I don't even know how you end up bringing Jameis back. I think they tried freeing up some cap space because I know Drew Brees changed his contract to he's now technically making the veterans minimum, so that helped them in cap space. But they have especially because I think the cap is going to go down this year because of the corona and everything like that. It affects the cap space. So, the Saints better start paying somebody off in the NFL office to hide their cap space somehow because they're in a really tough situation. I don't think it's going to be too pretty for them. So I don't think they have a choice. I think they're going to go into the season with Taysom Hill as their quarterback. I don't think it's going to work out very well, but I think that's what they're going to have to do because there's just nothing else you can do unless – you said their draft pick is in the 20s. If there's a way that they can form some kind of package to trade up in the draft and try to get a quarterback, if that means – but, you're probably going to have to end up trading one of your better players because your pick is all the way back in the 20s. It's not like you're going from from 5-1 or 5-2. You're going from, probably 26, up into the top 10 area or mid-teens. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's Sean Payton's definitely going to show what he's worth. Word around the league is the cap is going from 170 to 181ish. So it'll be interesting to see what this cap space is going to do and everything like that. But it'll be fun, Sam.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I mean, we've said it now like twice that the Saints don't have cap space. And Winston, I would imagine, just pulling a Teddy Bridgewater, sitting behind a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's unfortunate Drew Brees had to go out like this, but it's obviously no question he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I don't see Winston trying to come back on a potentially 2-year contract. I like the fit, but I think he's going to. I think he's going to leave and try to get a contract to potentially land a starting job. Actually, the guy that just commented said rumors with the Bears, which wouldn't be bad. I didn't even see that rumor. That must have just been recent. Emmanuel Sanders is also up because they only signed him to a 1-year deal. If he's there, Mac Jones, I don't even remember what they pick. I think the Saints might be like 27 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones would be good, or they could draft the receiver in the first round. But Mac Jones, to me, makes the most sense in New Orleans. You have a running back. You have a top 3 running back, in my opinion, in the NFL. You have a productive offensive line. You have a tight. Well, I mean, you think Jared Cook up? I want to say he has.
I
I
believe he is as well.
Yeah, because I mean, their tight ends are decent. They drafted Adam Trautman out of Dayton in the 3rd or 4th round. I think it was the 4th round. No, I think it was the 3rd round. It was day 2.
This man Sam know more about college football than I've forgotten, bro. Like college not. I get so lost during some of these conversations. This college is not my thing. Go off, Sam.
Well, they also have Michael Thomas, who I think is a little bit overrated. But I mean, he's still arguably top. I don't even think he's top 5, but I'd probably put him top 10 easily. But they still have a productive offense. So if they put the right pieces around Mac Jones, I think Mac Jones could succeed with Sean Payton's offense.
A lot of people are gonna hate me for this hot take, but you guys said that they might trade up in the draft, but they might trade a key player. I'm saying Alvin Kamara is on the move. And a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but running backs are undervalued in this league. You have, I believe, Marlon Mack. He's coming off an injury. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be a free agent. I believe they pick up a guy like that, get rid of Kamara, trade up and drop the QB, and they just take from there. They don't have a lot of room to work with because of the cap space. They have to get rid of somebody. So I'm saying Alvin Kamara is that piece that gets put on the move, and they Taysom Hill is a good player. He doesn't excel at anything. Like he's just good in all areas. He's not a franchise QB, so they're gonna come to see that you can't have a team without a quarterback. And I believe Alvin Kamara is on the move.
Man, playing Madden GM, I like it. Nick, what you think?
Crazy hot take right there. I mean, I definitely don't think they're gonna move on from Kamara and just like ship him off. But
Listen,
I mean,
watch.
Between Jameis and Taysom Hill, like you don't have a franchise quarterback between either of them. Like, so Taysom Hill's like CJ said, he's a situational guy. He's just someone you bring in to just like shake up the defense and just create a different look for your offense for that down or that play. I don't think. I mean, maybe some stupid team will like treat him as a franchise quarterback and like sign him to like give him like some type of deal or something. But I don't know, man. I honestly feel like maybe they should. Definitely not move Kamara by moving up in the draft, but I do feel like they need to draft a quarterback though, because it's like Winston, just because he's on a 1-year deal. Who knows if he'll even be back if the Saints are interested in bringing him back. And yeah, Taysom Hill, just like I said, he's not franchise worthy. He's not worth any type of big money to pay to be your long term quarterback. And yeah, I really feel like their only option is either like because they don't have the cap space, just like you guys said, to even like trade and bring in a big guy that you could extend long term. I feel like they really have no choice but to try to draft a quarterback and see what they could do with that. You know, put him in a Sean Payton system and try to just have him blossom.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting offseason to say the least. We'll see what this last comment says. Cameron Jordan, MT Quan restructure with Breeze restructure, and they'd be fairly close. Can't trade Kamara because of the extension. Way too much dead cap to be taken just because of the extended year. Bro, the other thing too, like unless they try to restructure Marshawn Lattimore as well. No, he didn't say that. So, yeah, if they try to Lattimore, it's definitely a possibility. They got $30 million in dead cap space. If they trade Kamara, yeah, I'm gonna have to say that they keep Kamara then. But it's gonna be an interesting offseason to say the least. A lot of QB movement, a lot of free agent movement, to say the least. But I think we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. It was a wonderful episode to say the least. Of course, before we go, guys, shout out to sponsors one more time for the people. So if you're into the betting world, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag, use code USM100, double your first deposit. Then with all of your winnings, because you're going to be a professional bettor for sure, go over to RxHemp-USN, saves you 10% on your entire order. They got the good CBD creams over there. So if you're ever sore from a long day at work or, sitting down in a chair for 2 hours talking sports, like I probably will because, I might be a little overweight there. So, it's possible. Make sure you go get some RX Hemp. You go check out the store as well. Teespring/store/unwrapped. Check out the store. We got everything you want. We got shirts. We got posters, stickers. I mean, bro, if there's something you want that says US on it, we probably have it. Of course, we got merch as well. Sam got his Saturday Standouts merch, Backstop Banter, Generational Sports, The Hard Count, Fights Unwrapped, Ladies First, Business Casual Basketball. I might be missing other things, but keeping it blunt, everybody's got something. So make sure you go check out the squad and support them for sure. And then last and certainly not least, we're on Patreon. Like I said before, $1, you just support us. $5 is a $10 Amazon gift card giveaway. You get 10% off the store I was just talking about. And you get access to our Discord where, we're doing what we do right now. We're talking sports, gaming, gambling, anything you want to talk about. And then the $10 option, you get all of those benefits except the 10% discount now becomes 20, and you get entered into a Keenan Allen signed jersey giveaway. So I don't know why you wouldn't want that. But great episode, to say the least. I'll hand the floor over to you guys to plug it. We'll go Nick, Eli, Sam, CJ, and then I'll finish it off. But if you guys got anything to plug, go ahead.
Oh, man, I just appreciate you guys for having me on, giving my insight. Shout out to CJ for bringing me on. It was good to talk sports with you guys for sure. All social media platforms, you guys can follow me at PROD Caviar. I'm Nick Beats, so that's like my producer name. But yeah, give me a follow on there. Talk sports, music, anything related. Once again, appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Eli?
Same thing. Just want to give a shout out to CJ for bringing me on the show. I just want to say to all my Philly fans out there, cry Eagles cry. Hi Howie. But I have nothing to plug in because my Instagram is boring. I just, add me on PSN. Don't want no ravioli. Let's run it up in 2K, man. That's about it. That's it, man. If you're in the New York area and you want to play football, hit me up. I'm always down. Just came back from Florida, from Nationals. So just, I'm your guy.
Okay.
Safety linebacker,
Big flex.
wide receiver, corner, anything you need. I can play quarterback. CJ knows.
We might have to get this man on the Saints, bro.
Yeah, man.
Veterans minimum.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Taysom Hill 2.0 over here.
But
Yeah,
I
Sam.
appreciate you guys. It's been a pleasure.
What you got, Sam?
Yeah, CJ. First, thanks CJ. Thanks Anthony for having you on or having me on. And CJ shouted out earlier. Caleb and I do a Saturday Standouts live show Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm a big Wisconsin sports fan. I also run Dairy Sports.
The
Go
greatest
follow that.
name for a show I've ever heard. I say this every time Sam says it.
I appreciate it. Go and follow all social media platforms of Dairy Sports.
Christian, Alex, appreciate the opportunity for passing the torch to me and Connie for the hard count. Really appreciate it. We're going to do some big things here. So excited for the future. CJ versus the World on Twitch. Might go live in a few, play some
Yes, sir.
play some yard ting with my guy Nick over here, and maybe EJ too. I run up some Madden.
Let's get it, man.
Garda podcast, streaming on all platforms, covering all NBA things, talking about basketball. Season about a quarter of the way through, so some good things coming forward with that. And you can follow me on Twitter right there, at CJ_James9. I'm talking about sports, everything sports, MMA as well, boxing. So shoot me a follow, man.
Yes, sir. Like CJ said, and like we said at the beginning of the show, Alex, Christian, passing the torch on over to us. Listen, if we're gonna do some big things here, me and CJ always got plans to do some stuff. I think CJ, I had to force this man to get on here because I had picked him as the host, bro. I said I gotta have CJ on. So shout out CJ for joining me on this endeavor to say the least. He could have told me to piss off and I would have had to say okay anyway. So I appreciate CJ for joining me on the journey. Alex, Christian for handing the torch off. But as for me, if you don't like me, I'm sorry, but I'm on like every single day now. Monday, I got Generational Sports with Josh and Neres, 7 Eastern. Monday, 7 Eastern, Generational Sports. Me and Josh and Neres, we're talking everything football, basketball. I'm going to force Josh to talk about baseball when that starts up too, so that might turn into a comedy skit. Tuesday, like we said, 10 Eastern, me and CJ are taking over the hard count. We got big things planned. Thursday, I have backstop banter with Michael Lawson as well, all things baseball. We're getting closer to the season, baby. We got some free agent news. Going to be a real fun to say the least. And then Twitch, Anthony_Conover, a lot of Warzone, a lot of things like that. So make sure you shout me out, shoot me a follow over there. My Twitter, Anthony_Conover_ or Gen Z Sports. And actually, I forgot to say this, bro. Monday on Generational Sports, we secured the bag, and Trey Wingo's coming on the show. So definitely gonna be fun. I'm super excited about that. We got Trey Wingo joining the show next Monday. So as this man Nick must have absolutely popped out on accident. Baseball's still not a real sport, bro. You're killing me, bro. Baseball's one of the best sports. But all right. That's it for this episode of the Hard Count. We'll be back next week. I appreciate you guys for joining